Good morning, afternoon, and evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for student workshop studying business in the UK. I would like to introduce our presenter, Tara Morrison, for today's session. Tara is a lecturer in business education and the Deputy Director of UG programs at University of Edinburgh. Tara has been working in higher education for over 25 years and has designed, developed, and delivered a range of high-caliber business-related programs. Unfortunately, Tara is unable to be with us today due to personal reasons. However, she has thoughtfully shared a recording that we will play shortly. She conveys her regrets for not being able to participate live in this session. Should you have any questions or concern during the session, please share them in the comment section. We will gather these inquiries and forward them to Tara. So let's get started.
Hello, my name's Tara Morrison, and I'm a lecturer at the University of Edinburgh Business School, and I'm so sorry that I can't be with you today. What I thought I would do is put together this presentation as a recording and give you some ideas about what it's like or why you should study business and why particularly you should study business at the University of Edinburgh. And then at the end, I've got an email address, and if you have any questions, which would have been part of what I would have done with you today, then you please email me. I'm very approachable and would love it if you get in contact with me if you've got any further questions that you would like to ask. So, as I said, my name's Tara Morrison, and I'm the Deputy Director of Undergraduate Programs. And basically what that means is, together with the director, is that we manage a suite of 19 programs that are spread over 3 groups of programs. And I think before we start, I should just make clear what the kind of terminology that I'm going to use today. So when I talk about programs, what I mean is the degree programs, the degree that you would be studying. And when I talk about courses, you might hear other universities, or you might know them as units or modules, but we talk about courses, and the courses make up the programs. So if you hear those words, then programs, think the degree; course, think of the modules that make up that degree. And I'll talk a bit more about the composition of that in a while, but just to say that I'm also the pre-honours head. Now, if you're not familiar with the Scottish system, in Scotland, we have 4-year degree programs, as opposed to in England, which generally has 3-year degree programs. And the first 2 years are what we call pre-honours, and then the final 2 years are honours. And honours refers to when you get your degree from a university, is that usually you get a BA brackets honours, or in Scotland, and certainly we at the University of Edinburgh, we talk about MA honours. But just to clarify that when you see MA honours, that's equivalent to a degree program. It's not that you're getting a master's, but we call it a Masters of Art, but it's a 4-year program. But if you wanted to go on to it's not considered to be postgraduate education, it's only undergraduate education. So I manage the first 2 years of the programs as well, and then I've got colleagues who manage the honours years. And the honours years are the years that count towards your final degree classification. So the way we work is that if you get over 70% in your final 2 years, then you would get what we call a first class honours, and then between 60 and 70% is what we call a 2-1. Between 50 and 60 is a 2-2, and between 40 and 50 is a third class honours. This is some of the terminology that maybe you're going to hear or will hear through presentations that are covered, and the slight differences in the wording that we might use. I'm also then the course organiser. So remember, a course is a composite part of a programme. For 2 really big courses at year 1, Global Challenges for Business, which we teach to about 450 students a year, so everyone actually who comes onto any of our business school undergraduate programs has to do this course. It's a compulsory course at year 1. And then I also teach an optional course, psychological well-being and business. So it's an option in that you don't have to take it, and you can choose a range of options, particularly in year 1. And that's one of the things that makes Scottish universities stand out quite a bit more from English universities, because we have that 4 years. The first year is a real opportunity to get everyone up to speed in terms of the kind of basics of business, but also to think about the global environment in which we are, everybody's working in, but also to give you opportunities to look at other courses throughout the university, and to broaden your knowledge. And that's kind of what you might be more used to within a kind of high school framework, where you study a range of subjects, and we could kind of continue that in your first year of the degree, and then slowly you start to specialize in your particular degree program, and I'll talk a bit more about that in a minute. So first of all, why study business? Why do business in the first place? Well, research suggests that it really does open up career opportunities, in that employers are looking for ways in which you are developing transferable skills, and the skills that you develop doing a business degree seem to tick all the boxes that employers are looking for, and I'll show you a little bit more about that in a moment. Secondly, you get to specialize or generalize, in that you could do a generalist type of degree such as business management, but within the realms of business, you could do accounting and finance, you could do international business, you could do business and marketing, business with decision analytics. And so there's so much opportunity to learn about all aspects of business. Certainly most business degrees, whether they are specialist in the first place or become more specialist as you move through the program, do encourage you to look at a range of subjects. So while you might do accounting and finance, within that you will also look at other aspects of business, so you get that all-round understanding of how businesses and organizations work. And I think that it's really important to remember that whatever the future holds for you, that you will be working in some type of organization, whether it's one that you create for yourself, or one that you end up working for. And if we use the term business in its broadest sense, then you need to understand how those businesses work, whether they're not-for-profit businesses, public sector organizations, or private sector organizations. Having an understanding of what makes them work is only going to help you in the future. You'll enjoy a really interesting, engaging environment because of the really different aspects of business. There's so much that you can study within the concept of business, whether it be marketing, human resource management, economics, data analysis, oh good grief, psychological well-being, futures and options, auditing. I mean, I could go on. The list is endless. It really is. And so it just offers you so much opportunity to really engage with really interesting subject matter. When you study business, you will, regardless of whether you study business or international business, you will be studying something that is global and has global appeal, and that you're able to take those skills with you to anywhere, because not only the transferable skills, which I'll talk about in a moment, but also just the basics of business behavior. And that is transferable throughout the world, and therefore you are marketable as a graduate, not only within your home country but abroad. You'll also receive real industry experience. You'll be exposed to lots of organizations, lots of employers who might actually organize assessments or guest lectures, who might mentor you through particular courses or extracurricular activities. And so you'll get a real understanding of what makes the business world tick. And it's such a massive part of what makes the global economy tick and the world in general tick, that you will have that understanding and knowledge. And finally, you can make a difference. Business is such a global phenomenon, and it is certainly seen in terms of something that can be seen as something for good or for bad or for evil, using the power that business has for good or for evil. And increasingly we're looking at business to solve some of the issues that have been generated within the world, some of which, quite a few of which, business in themselves have created. And you can make that difference. You can work in organizations that will be the future, and will hopefully create more sustainable business decisions, which will help to avert some of the environmental problems that we have and to deal with some of the global issues that we currently face. Now, remember what I said about transferable skills. These are the skills that are most valued by employers in a survey done in 2022. And if you notice, the big areas are things like communication, teamwork, problem solving, flexibility, and interpersonal skills. There's a whole range of skills, and you can see them along the bottom. And the pale blue line is where employers feel that there are skills gaps currently. And what we like to think within the business area is that we are plugging those gaps, because those skills that we are developing are fundamental to what employers want. And a lot of degree programs that you may or consider doing do not deal with those kinds of transferable skills. So it's just important to remember that you shouldn't think about a degree program entirely on employability. Is that you should think about a degree program that you're going to enjoy doing. But it would be really remiss of me to say that you don't want to consider the future and the options that are available to you when you graduate. And having this kind of skills development is so important, and so much so that if we look at the top 5 disciplines that employers recruit from currently, is that business and management studies and accountancy and finance is numbers 2 and 3 on that list. So it does make you incredibly employable doing a business degree. But why should you come to the University of Edinburgh Business School? There's so many places that you could go and study business. Well, I'd just like to put forward my case for why I think the University of Edinburgh Business School is really a great place to be. First of all, it's ranked 22nd out of 1,500 universities in the world. So if you imagine coming 22nd out of 1,500, that's not bad. That's really very good. And I would be lying if I said that it wouldn't look good or doesn't look good on your CV to have the University of Edinburgh Business School on your CV as where you've done your degree. It is a ticket into some of the best employers, and I'll show you some of the places that our graduates are working currently at the end of this presentation. Having said that, though, any degree program is not enough on its own these days, and I think that that's another reason why our business school is such a great place to be, because it offers the value added. It offers so much more than just a degree program. And that's the kind of thing that you should be asking any business school, regardless of where it is what is the value added that it's offering to you that will mean that you will stand out in a group of applicants who've all got great degrees, but maybe some of them have not done the and extracurricular activities that I think makes our business school stand out above the rest. We have a great commitment to high quality teaching and learning, a great environment in which for you to study. I think we have some great lecturers, and I think that you would enjoy the experience of being with us and interacting with the lecturers that we have. And I think we are, as any business school should be, great in terms of our industrial engagement, and they help to inform the programs that we teach, the courses, and the content of those courses. As I said to you, they are mentors on some of our co and extracurricular activities. They design our assessments. They sponsor our dissertations. So you're constantly engaging with industry throughout the time that you're working with us. I don't know if you know Edinburgh, if any of you have ever been to Edinburgh, but if you haven't, you should come. It's just amazing. It's such a beautiful city. It's got that lovely, safe feel. It's not big, and I don't know whether that's a good thing or a bad thing for you. It's not a big city, but it has everything that you would want as a student and more. It's a very student-centered city, but it's also beautiful. It's stunning. It's just all really cutesy and oldie-worldy, and everybody talks about the fact that it's just a kind of collection of villages that make the city. So it's just a lovely place to be, and the university is slap bang in the old part of the city, and so, you know, everywhere you walk, it's just beautiful. And you can look just from the business school, you can stand on the concourse and you can look over to Arthur's Seat, which is an extinct volcano. And then you look out of other windows and you can see beautiful old buildings, the meadows, which is a huge part. Edinburgh's fantastic for open green spaces as well. And it really is a special place to be. As I said, because of the 4-year programme that we offer in Scotland, is you can generalise or specialise, and I'll talk a little bit more about how that might look. But as I said, the first year is often an opportunity for you to really just find out, you know, what areas that you might be interested in. So for example, if you were to do our business management degree, that's the really most general degree program that we do. And that just has, we're split into a semester system, and you study 3 courses in semester 1, 3 in semester 2. And in the first semester, you do 2 compulsory or core courses, one of them mine, the Global Challenges Business course. You also do an introduction to accounting, and then you have an option. And then in the second semester, you have 1 more compulsory course, the Business of Edinburgh, and then you have 2 options. And you can do options that we run within the business school, or you can do such a range from throughout the whole university. And I think, as I said, that's something that's quite unique to the Scottish system. Then in this second year, you only have 1 compulsory course on this business management programme, and then the rest can be options, again, from with or without the business school. Now, some of our other programs are then far more specialised. So if, for example, finance and business doesn't have any options at year 1, because there are a group of courses you have to do, because we have to comply with accreditation bodies that are professional bodies in finance and accounting, that mean when you graduate, you will get exemptions from certain professional qualifications. You'll still have to do some exams on graduating, but there are far less of them because of the way in which we've constructed our programs for you. It's a very international learning. I'll talk a bit more about the generalist and specialist stuff in a minute, but the international learning environment, we have a very international faculties, that's the people that would teach you, but also a very international student community as well. We have students, obviously, I think, at the last count, I think from 72 countries. And I think that that's a real strength, is that we don't have an over-recruitment for certain areas of the world. What we like to do is make sure that we have a real mixture of students from all over the world. And again, I think that's a huge strength, particularly when you're looking at working in an international environment in the future. You get to join a very prestigious alumni. When you graduate, you then belong to our alumni. So that's, you know, the kind of community, and that is great for networking, but also you know, a lot of our alumni want to come back and support the business school in lots of different ways, and that could be you in the future. And then I think that this is what makes us really quite unique, this dedicated student support and development teams that we have. We have a student development team that I think is about 12 people, and their job is just to help you in terms of your personal and professional development. We have a ton of co-curricular, extracurricular activities for you to identify skills you want to develop, and how you can grow and thrive during your time with us. And I've worked in a number of business schools, and I've never worked anywhere where there is that level of support to help you to not only do your particular degree, but to really thrive and grow, and to develop all of those skills that we know are so important in the marketplace. And then finally, we obviously offer world-leading research, as any university would do, that's 22nd in the world, and we you know, you can learn all about the research that we're doing through the courses that we deliver, particularly at years 3 and 4. So that's kind of why you should come to the University of Edinburgh. Now, I've got a video here which is from our students from last year. I'm going to send the slides to somebody who's going to be in the room with you, and I'm not going to play this now just in case it doesn't work, but I'm hoping that it will be possible for you to see this presentation as part of this, because I think it's fantastic. You don't want to hear it from me, you want to hear it from actual students, and these students are just wonderful. They're great. So I'm not going to show this to you now, but hopefully you'll get to see it as part of this presentation tomorrow, or today for you guys. Sorry, it's Wednesday here. Okay, so as I said, we have 19 programs, and they cover a range of subject areas, and they're organized into 3 clusters. We have our business management cluster, which has a few of what we call joint degree programs. So any of those programs you see business and, that's a joint degree. That means that you would do 50% business, 50% in economics, geography, or law. Any of those courses that you see business with, so you've got decision analytics, enterprise and innovation, human resource management, etc. That's business is still the priority, but you will do certain courses that are within the area of those particular subjects. And you are specializing more than you would be if you were just doing business management, but you're not specializing as much as if you were doing a joint degree. Then we have our international business cluster. So we have a general international business degree, and then we have those that are with a language, and those would be then form part of what every year you would study those. And the international business degree cluster, the difference there is you have to go abroad in year 3. You have to study at another university in year 3. That is not to say that you don't have the opportunity, if you are either in the business management cluster or the accounting and finance cluster, you can also go abroad in year 3, but it's not compulsory. And all of you can apply to go abroad, but with the international business and those with the language, is that we have to make sure that you definitely do go abroad. And for those of you doing it with a language, you would go to a university where you would hopefully study in that language, not maybe in the entirety of all the courses that you do, but in quite a few of the areas. Then the final cluster is our accounting and finance cluster. Just the 3 programs there, and they're very popular with our students. And those programs are more contained. There's less options available. You really are specializing at that point. So where the fact that they are accounting and finance, they're not actually what we call joint degree programs, but they are, the emphasis very much is on the kind of 50-50 split for those. So those are the programs that we offer within the business school. And as I said to you, we work on a 2+2, 2 years kind of foundation and then 2 years for honours. Now, the interesting thing that I should mention is that those, as I said to you at the beginning, those final 2 years, then the first 2 years don't count towards your final degree classification. The final 2 years do. Now, in England, if you were to choose to go to university in England, then usually your years 1 and 2 wouldn't count, and it would just be your third year that would count towards your honours degree classification. The difference for students on international business and any student who goes abroad in year 3 is that your degree classification would only be counted on your year 4, the year 4 when you return back to here at the university. And the reason being is that while we know we've got some fantastic universities all over the world that you can go and study at, in Australia, Canada, all over Europe, Japan, Malaysia, the courses can be quite different, and so it would be unfair for us to ask somebody who maybe was studying in Chinese that they would maybe for them to get the same kinds of grades as somebody who went to Australia and was studying in English. So with that third year, it's just credited as a year abroad, but it doesn't count towards your degree classification. But don't let that put you off. Our research suggests that students who go abroad in year 3 generally do better in terms of their final degree classification than those that stay and study years 3 and 4. But again, there's not much of a difference between the two. We have a lot of flexibility in our programs, so you really can pick and mix if you want, or you can be really quite strategic and really focus in depending on the degree program that you undertake, or even if you do our most generalist degree program, business and management, you can be quite specific in that as well. And so, as I said, we've got a semester system. You do 3 courses in semester 1, 3 in semester 2, and each course is worth what we call 20 credits, and you do 120 credits per year. And the way the courses run, sometimes if you're doing a language, you might do a 40 credit course that straddles both semesters, but most of our courses are just 20 credits, other than the final year dissertation that you do, which is also 40 credits. As I mentioned before, the study abroad, the opportunity now, all of you would probably be, you'll be coming here from abroad anyway, so you might not want to go abroad, but certainly we have plenty of students who are international students who also want to study abroad. There's no fee difference. We do it on an exchange program. All you would need to do is pay for your accommodation and your living expenses as you would if you were living in Edinburgh. And we have a great team of people both here in Edinburgh and with your partner institution, university institution, depending on where you go, to help sort out your travel, your accommodation. And there is no student who has done a year abroad and comes back and says, well, that was rubbish, I didn't enjoy that. They've loved it, absolutely loved it. So this is something that you can think about. And as I say, we have a massive range of partners that we use, and they're really good quality university partners. One thing to say is you can't go back to your home country to study abroad. We don't allow that. So I want to just finish, and I hope maybe you might have, I did a very small little video right at the start to just to sort of introduce myself earlier in the semester, I think. And one of the things what I asked at the end was, what do you think are the skills that our future leaders need? You know, and so obviously I'm not there to be able to kind of get your answers, but I wonder whether some of them are these. I particularly like Morgan's list. I like the words that he uses, and I'm not going to go through all of this, but I just want to pick out a few of the examples here that I think are so important today. Is the importance of being a global citizen. and embracing diversity and being able to recognize the value of diversity and inclusion, and thinking about making a difference. That whatever you do, you should be thinking about how you can make a difference in the world that we all occupy. Secondly, this issue around servant leadership, it's an area that I teach quite a bit in, is that a good leader should be one that serves the people that they work for. Now, not in a servant capacity in that, you know, that you bend over backwards, but I use the analogy is that you should lead from the back. You should lead from the rear, in that you should be encouraging your followers, your teams to be everything they can be. And that you do that by making sure that everybody is keeping pace. If you're leading from the front, you have no clue what's going on behind. You have no idea if people are sort of like struggling, you know, it's like you're just onwards. And that's what we try to encourage here is that sense of humility, is that you don't know everything, that the people in front of you are often far better placed to make decisions and to manage aspects of their work and to pick up the team and to be leaders within that team at various points. And your job is to motivate and encourage and support and empower them to be all that they can be. So that humility, remember this issue of humility as well, is that be honest with yourself and honest with others and say, I don't know it all, and I don't expect to, is that I'm always learning, and that I will always learn. And being humble, I think, in terms of what you are and what you recognize as your strengths, but also areas that you know that you need to work on, really helps you to be a good leader. This fifth one as well, being a coach, motivating, inspiring, engaging. Those are the key skills that are going to be successful, make you a successful leader in the future. And then the final one, and I love this one, this idea of being Yoda. And it's being able to express empathy, feeling that having emotional intelligence, so that you are self-aware, so you understand how you behave and what bothers you, what stresses you, what makes you anxious, and how those things might impact the way in which you behave, and how those things might impact the people who work for you. So it's being self-aware and knowing how you behave can impact others, but also being empathic and seeing how people are working and how they're getting on, and if they're struggling, and how you can help and support them to thrive, to grow. These are keywords I use a lot in my psychological well-being and business course, because I think those are key things that we need to be encouraging in our leaders of the future. And if you were to come to the University of Edinburgh Business School, you will become the business leaders of the future. That's who you are. Is that we have people who are working in amazing industries all over the world. This is just a very small selection of where some of our graduates are working. And they are not just, well, they may have started off doing graduate schemes within these organizations, but now they are working in senior positions in these companies. And by coming to the University of Edinburgh Business School, and by taking advantage of all the personal and professional development opportunities that are available to you, by making sure that you study a range of subjects that will mean that you have a broad understanding of business, as well as a specific one if that's what you choose. But having that skills base and understanding the way in which you need to lead, I think is pretty much fundamental to what we try to do within the business school. And then companies like this will want you working for them. And what I would like to say is that we also really encourage innovation and entrepreneurship. And what I'd love to see is new names on this screen, names of companies that are not yet in existence, but they're yours. They're yours. They're the ones that you're going to create in the next 10 years or so. And I can't wait to see what those names are going to be, and the impact that you're going to have in the future. And I'd love to consider that the University of Edinburgh Business School might be just part of that story for you, is that you're going to come here with some amazing ideas, knowledge and skills already, and what we would like to do is to help you to thrive and to grow, so that you can be the leaders of the future. So I'd love to say come and see us on the concourse in the business school, but obviously you can't do that today. But obviously we do run open days quite a few times in the year, and we'd love to see you at some of our open days, but I understand it's quite a long way for you to come. But what I would suggest is, if you now have any questions, which I would have opened up to you if I was there with you now, is that you email me those questions, and I promise you I will get back to you. It's been a real pleasure to speak to you today, and again, I'm so sorry that I can't be with you, and hopefully I would love to see some of you come to us in the future. So thank you very much for your time today, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the presentations that you're going to see. Thank you.
I also have a short video which Tara requested to share with you all, so I'm just going to play that video as well.
Oh, no, I'm just kidding. It's like a little juggle.
You're from Edinburgh. You're from
Bottom floor of the library, whenever you're just sweating out NASA, that is the place to go.
As well as the pods. We literally fight for the pods.
A business student, I think, in my opinion, would be one who's not afraid to grasp opportunity. Someone who's just really willing to learn and just go out and try new things and just get comfortable being uncomfortable.
That willingness to take a risk, take a leap, do something slightly unconventional.
I kind of feel like we should do a Be Real right now. Otherwise, we're just not being real.
There are so many opportunities for networking. There are so many opportunities for development.
I have a personal mentor catering to my career development goals.
The career service is fantastic at creating workshops on things starting from leadership to time management to team building.
Edinburgh Uni, they have so many different connections.
Professors and tutors have really emphasized on personal and professional development. They encourage students to kind of make that their ultimate goal.
In terms of like flexibility of courses, you've got so many options in the business school.
You have the options of taking elective courses, so I've got courses in economics and computer science.
What really stood out to me was the reputation of the uni and like the city as well.
Edinburgh is a village, first of all.
Edinburgh is a village, but it's a big one.
Yeah.
It's a big village with like a nice sense of community.
I was like, wow, I really want to be in that city.
Having the student union here, I think is great. Having the Big Cheese.
The Big Cheese is the university-based nightclub.
Dancing, singing, drinks, having fun. It's all about that.
I do love how there are so many places in Edinburgh that you can study and see the castle. But if you're walking through it and it's sunny, you just feel like you're in one of the most beautiful places in the world.
And Edinburgh has so many things on offer.
Music, food, festivals,
Galleries, cinemas, museums, restaurants. Then you also have the beach and the mountains right next to you.
Having a beach, you know, you're in Edinburgh, the capital city of Scotland.
If you want to go for a little dip, you can go to Portobello. If you want to climb a mountain, go up off the sea.
I think Global Challenges for Business taught me a lot. Found that like one of my favorite courses I've ever done because I actually learned more about the world.
The perspectives that's provided in that class is like so different to what I'm used to back home.
There's so many opportunities to just step out and grow as a person.
I think for me as well, studying courses like programming for business, it unlocked like such a new skill for me.
The uni itself, it's so international, you meet so many new people. Because I feel like everyone you meet, they're all from different parts of the world.
And I think the business school is one of the best places for student support.
Yeah, I think it's really easy to talk to tutors and talk to lecturers about any problems that you have.
And it's just a really nice building as well.
Gosh, I love business school.